Hello everyone, Elite 4Yo here, and I want to do a series of experiments. Can modern packs be weighed? There is a lot of different opinions on this that I have seen online, whether they can or can't or shouldn't be even. I think the general answer is that the code cards, which I have here, should be offsetting the potential weights of the packs so that modern packs over the last few sets should not be able to be weighed. That's kind of the point of why the code cards here, and I'm just going to quickly do some weighing with my little scale right here to showcase the different weights. So these are all from the same set, and I'm just going to do this very quick. Don't think it's all that interesting seeing me weigh these code cards. These are from Scarlet and Violet, so I'll just drop one on here. And we're getting about 1 gram, 167 for that one. This one right here, another 1.67. This one here, put that right in the middle, 1.66 to 1.67, maybe right in the middle there. So that one's probably about 167. And put this one right in the middle, do the same thing. And let's see, this one's 1.68, just about. So I'll just reweigh this one just to make sure. Okay, now it's coming in at about 1.69. So please keep in mind that this is not a large sample size. There is some taking to be with a grain of salt. This is just supposed to be more for fun, just to get a comparative measure of the packs and whether they can be weighed rather than a sure science. Obviously, a large sample size would provide much better information. But I'm just going to do this on a much smaller scale as I'm just interested in a very general answer. I don't need it to be too precise. So looking at these ones from Battle Styles, these are the white code cards. This is 1.56 on this one right here. Measuring this one, about 1.55. And finally, this one right here says 1.62. So I'm going to pick it up. Let my scale reset. Come on. Come on, reset. Of course, if you have any experience with these, and I utilize scales all the time for my shipping, then you know that they can be painfully annoying to get them to reset to 0. Okay, so that one went down a little bit there, 1.59, give or take. So is there variance in the code cards from the same set? Probably. I mean, they're supposed to be. The code cards are supposed to be offsetting the weight of whatever is in the pack. If the pack has something that is really heavy, then the code card is supposed to account for that in some fashion of its own weight to offset it. Whether that's making the pack heavier or lighter or all equally the same. That's what we're going to focus on. And I have a bunch of different products here. We'll open some stuff. We'll put some stuff aside. Let's just get a basic measure. So I'm not going to do these first, these ones that are still in the actual packaging, because those ones are going to be way trickier to actually get an accurate measure on. So let's just look at the most recent set right here. Temporal forces. I'll weigh each one. Let's see if there's any general variance in their weights. And again, this is an inaccurate science. I don't have a large sample size because one, it would take forever to weigh a ton of packs. That's not very interesting. And 2, it's expensive. So taking a look here, we're looking at about 22 grams, 0.68 for this pack. Put that right up here. So 22.68 for that one. This one's coming in 22.65 grams, so that one is lighter. And we'll look at this last one right here, the Walking Wake pack. And that one is 22.56. So I think that one should be the lightest, if that's what I'm looking at, right? 22, yep. So this is an order from lightest on the left all the way to the heaviest on the right. Just to comment on this, all of these packs were not loose. I got them all from some kind of sealed product. I just took them out just to make it easier. But we're looking at the weights. Now, for older sets, vintage sets, the conventional wisdom is that, yeah, they are weighable, especially the early vintage sets, because the heavier hollows in them did cause them to weigh more. That's why you often see online, it'll have, a little disclaimer, heavy weight, or it'll show it next to a scale, right? And thus, that's a more desirable pack. With these modern sets over the last few sets, that shouldn't be happening. That's kind of the hypothesis of what I'm going to test here. Just because a pack is heavier doesn't necessarily mean it has a hit guaranteed, nor does it mean that it's the best that you can get. And it also doesn't mean that the lighter pack all the way here on the left doesn't have a hit. That's how that variation is supposed to work. So let's take a look. I'll open them, I'll re-weigh them again, I'll weigh the code card as well, and we'll see what we come up with. Should be fun, I hope. If you're enjoying this so far, please go ahead, like, subscribe. I really appreciate it. I'm just going to put the whole pack right there. Whoops, my scale turned off. I apologize for that. Give it a moment to boot on here. Okay, let's see what the pack is weighing at now without the sleeve. 2162. I'm going to take the code card out. Boop. Let's see what the code card weighs, just out of curiosity. 1.39. Okay, so let's see what we have on here. Do the little opening for this. Frostmoth, Knock, Towel, Croconaw, Licklicky, a Great Tusk, Morty's Conviction, Shiftery right there. Ooh, oh, look at that nice, really nice hollow right there. That Master Ball, love that, very nice. So how does that affect the weight, right? Reverse Grottle and a Dun Sparse hollow. Okay, so the first pack here does have a nice hit in that Master Ball. I don't remember the value of it right there, but this was the lightest pack. So the lightest pack actually had something of value, whether it's a few dollars or more. Let's go ahead and take a look at our middle pack here. Open this up. We'll do a little weight. See what we come up with on this. I'll just put this one right in the middle on the scale right there. Coming up, what's that, 2171. I'll weigh the code card. I think the other one was something like 130 something, right? I think 139. Yep, so this one's a touch higher at 1.40. So the code cards, according to what my scale is saying, the code cards do weigh differently. We did see that with the first set of code cards I did. I know, small sample size, but it was suggesting at least that it is different. So let's see here. This is the medium weight pack. Let's see if it has a hit or doesn't, and what possible conclusions we can draw from that. Finizen, Boxed Order, Ribombee, Future Booster Energy Capsule. You get an Iron Hands right there, not too bad. Get the Hoot Hoot, and let's see, is there anything of interest? Okay, so we've got the Miraidon here. That's cool, Miraidon EX card right there. So this one has a hit, I guess, if you consider one of these EX cards a hit, plus the Iron Hands. And if I just put this back on the scale for one last measure, we're looking at about 20.33. And we're going to measure the first one more time. And that is without the code cards. I already took those out. So the medium pack was 20.33, and the light pack is sitting at 20.24. So significantly lighter, yet that one had the Master Ball in it, and this one had the EX card for Miraidon. So far, not too bad on what I'm actually getting on here. So, you know, hits, I guess. Let's do this last pack. This is the heavy pack. So I know conventionally we want to say that the heavy pack has the hits in it because that's how it was for the old packs, but it's not exactly true. I measure it all together. This has the code card on it, 2173. I'll take the code card out, measure that separately right there. 1.39. I'm going to measure the original two code cards against this one. I think it was about the same. I think the second one was 1.40, right? 139 for that one. I forgot the order of which one was which. So apologies. And about 139. So yeah, they're about the same. So all three code cards are about the same. So if I don't get a hit in this pack, then that should support the idea that something about the weights is different, even if the code cards are all weighing the same, which is interesting because you would think that would be different dependent on if there's a hit or not. So let's take a look. Let's just open this one and see what we got. Yamper, Torcat, Grubbin, Electivire, Cincino, Sableye, a Rosalia, Medicham, and just a regular hollow on here. Fluttermane Hollow. So, some conclusions to be drawn on there. We looked at the fact that the code cards seemingly were about the same, 1.39. Yet, this heaviest pack on here that I just opened has really nothing in it. And without the code card, it's weighing at 20.33. Let's take a look at the second pack I opened that had the Iron Hands, and we'll just put the EX card on top. So, heaviest pack, 20.33. Medium pack, it's now weighing at 20.33. That's kind of interesting. That's the removal of the code card. So, we can draw some new conclusions. If this is accurate, and I'm just going to wait a few times, this has the Miraidon and the Iron Hands in it. Let's just wait one more time, get as accurate as we can. 20.33. This is the medium pack. Let's do the hard pack. The heavy pack, which has nothing in it. It just has this Fluttermane. Oh, where'd it go? Where'd I put that? Did I lose a card? Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. I didn't see it on the table. This just has this regular hollow in it. Will this be 20.33? That's what it originally said. Let's see. Ooh, way off. Let's let the scale reset. Let's try one more time. There. Oh, oops, I'm missing a card. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. I didn't see that the card was all the way over there. It was under the Fluttermane. I'm sorry, guys. 20.33. So, heaviest pack, originally, nothing in it. Medium pack, has a hit, has the EX in it, has a hit. Let's do the lightest one now. So, the medium and the heavy pack were both 20.33. What will this weigh? This has the Master Ball in it. I think that's all it had, right? Yeah, and the Dunsparce Hollows. Who cares? Let's see what this one weighs at. Will it be 20.33? 20.22. I'll take it off. Let's just reset this one more time. Let's see. 20.22. So, very small sample size, but this instance shows that the best card I got, that Master Ball, which is worth whatever it is the lightest of the packs. Yet again, if I look at the three of the code cards, just real fast, guys. 1.39, 1.39, and finally 1.39. All the code cards are the same. These two weigh the same, but the lightest one, obviously that's why it's the lightest, is not the same. Some conclusions can be drawn there. Perhaps, certainly the idea, if the idea exists, that a lighter pack doesn't equate to not having a hit. That's kind of the conclusion we drew. And that's just from the temporal forces. Again, small sample size. I keep saying that, but I really want to emphasize that point. It would probably be better to do this with 1,000 packs, but I don't think anyone wants to sit through that. So let's take a look at some more. I have a bunch of Paldean Fates here. I'm going to try to, let's see, we'll do these Dodonzo. If there's the idea that, and I'm sure people believe that the character could determine weight in some regard. I've heard people say that before. Let's see if we can disprove that right now. Well, I guess you can't, because I can't really weigh the empty pack itself. But that's okay. We have our 4 packs of Paldean Fates right here. Let's do it again. We measure the Dodonzo pack. Oops, got to turn on my scale. Sorry, I forget that it keeps doing that. Give it a moment here to reset. I'm just going to put it a little forward there. Okay, let's see. 22.99. We'll put that one right there. I'm not doing what the average weight is because I don't have enough packs to average it out without opening them anyway. 22.99. I'm going to lift it. Do this one more time. 22.99. So same weight right here. Let's do these 2 Pikachus. 23.05. Do it one more time. 23.05. So that one's heavier. Last pack on here. If this is the same, I'm just going to do a different one. 22.92. So that one's the lightest. So I'm just going to take one of these out since these are the same. I don't really. Actually, that'll be a separate experiment, right? Let's do that first. Lightest here, heaviest here. These two are tied. Let's see if they have the same content in terms of hits. Because if you were weighing them in like a store, which I wouldn't, it would be horrible to do that. But if you were, then if you saw they had the same weight and you knew heavier or lighter was better or not, then couldn't you draw a conclusion there? Well, let's see. I'm going to take the code card out. I'm going to weigh the code card. 1.67. Let's see if we get anything of interest here. Okay, bunch of stuff. Gengar, Magmar, Pineapple. Okay, we have the Raichu Hollow. So nothing there. Okay. I'm going to weigh it again. The code card was 167. Let's weigh the pack one more time here. 2204. Lift. Do it one more time just to confirm. 2203, so give or take that number right there. And we'll take this one. Remember, this pack was supposed to be the same exact weight. We tested it several times. So does that mean that there is nothing in here? That there's just the two regular reverses and the hollow? That's what it would suggest here, right? So I'm going to have this pack right here. Let's open this up. Let's see what we got. Clobbopus, Frigibax, Gravelocked, Iono, Kilowattrel, Toadscool, Rare Candy. Okay, so we got an EX card on here. Kind of interesting. And yeah, that's basically all we got. Okay, so this one had the EX card, was the same weight as the one that had nothing. Let's weigh it now. Put that right there. 2204. Let's weigh the Raichu one, which was the same exact weight as that one. It should be about the same, give or take, right? 04. I had to adjust. So these are the exact same weight. This one has the EX card in it. They both have the code cards in the pack. So let's measure. Let's weigh the code cards. So this is the Gardevoir one. Let's weigh the code card for the Gardevoir. 1.68. Let's weigh the Raichu pack. Put that one right there. 1.67. So is that enough of a deviation to explain why the weights are the same? It could be. It could be because, let's try it this way. If there is a very tiny difference in the weight of the code cards, then wouldn't you think that the hollow versus the EX is maybe comparable to the same weight difference? 0.01? Let's find out. We'll do the Raichu first. 1.97. So would this be 0.01 up or down? Let's see. 1.98. There you go. So the answer is yes. Isn't that interesting, guys? 1.97 for the hollow. And the EX, 1.98. So this code card for the Gardevoir pack, I put that right there. 1.7, what's that number? 1.69. And this one is probably going to be, let's just confirm it, 1.68. So if you're following along with what I'm saying, the code card is balancing out the weight so that you can't weigh them, because these two were exactly the same, didn't have the same hit. Code cards were very minimally different, and thus the packs weighed the same. I hope you're finding this as interesting as I am. Or maybe I'm just a nerd. But I find that fascinating. So we'll put these right here, right in the middle. Those are the medium weights. Left is the light. Let's do the lightest one on here. About 22.92. Lift it, do it one more time. 22.92. That's the light one. Let's do the heavy one just to reconfirm the numbers. 23.05 grams. So yes, this one is definitely heavier than this one and these two. Let's open it up, see how this relates to our findings with those middle two packs. Remember, the code cards in those, one was 1.69, one was 1.68. Let's take the code card out of the light pack and weigh it. Will it be lighter? 1.66. This is the lightest of the code cards for this Paldean Fates. So let's see what that implication is of it. Coming through this on here. Nest Ball, don't care. Mousehold, Professor's Research, Ceruledge Hollow. So this is the lightest pack. Also had the lightest of the code cards. Had no hits in it. Accounted for nothing at all. I'm going to put this back on here. Give it a second to adjust. 21.99 without the wrapper on it. Put it back down. 21.99, about 22 grams even. I'm going to go ahead and try this one. Open this up. This is the heavy pack. So if that one, the lightest, was about 22 grams with no covering, let's see what this one is. Should this be heavier? 22.08. So this one is definitely heavier, and that's much different than the weights of the packs in these two, the medium. About 22.10, 22.08. Take the code card out. Let's weigh this one. Will this be about 1.69? 1.68. So this is about one of the medium packs, the same weight. Will this heavier weight account for anything in here being better? Let's go ahead and find out. Cottony, Barboach. And this one had the full art in it, the Clive, which I've pulled a million times. I'm sure you have too. So the heaviest here had the, I guess, the hit, if you count this crappy card as a hit. But yes, technically that would be the hit. And it was the heaviest. So in this instance, just in this instance, this card, that's the hit card, is about 1.99 grams. And if I just take out the other pack, the light pack, so if the hit in the heaviest pack is 1.99, let's just look at the regular hollow here. 1.94. So in that instance, the hit spot, if you're looking at the hollow spot, not the reverse spots, which were the same in both, I got nothing, then yes, the better card, this full art card, is heavier than just the basic hollow card right there. So that was just for Paldean Fates. That kind of shows you it's kind of up in the air, but ultimately, yeah, the code cards should be affecting the weight. In this instance, however, even the heaviest pack did have the hit. But let's just, with the code card, let's weigh the whole thing one more time, very carefully. 22.09, lift it one more time. Let it reset, put it back down. 22.09, 22.09, that stays the same. Let's take a look at the lightest pack. Will this be heavier or lighter? Let's take a look. Boom, boom. 22, was it even? Yeah, 22 grams even. So that is definitely a lot heavier for the heavier pack. And in this instance, it did have the hit card. But one of the things to keep in mind is just because something's heavier and could have the hit in it, doesn't mean it's a good one. I mean, what is this, like $1 or $2 card? Yeah, this one was heavier. So people would think, okay, that's the one to hold on to or weigh or whatever. And yet, here we are, and it's not really any value anyway. Now, there are some conclusions to try to draw here. Does this mean that different sets, whether you can weigh them or not, it's different by set? And I say that because when we did the first one, the Temporal Forces, it seemed like everything was even. Yet when I did the set before, the Paldean Fates right here, well, for some reason, the data was different. It seemed like they are weighable. Again, cliche, I'm going to say it again though. Very small sample size. Very small sample size, but a sample size nonetheless. But again, this isn't an exact science. If you really want to do this experiment, get 1,000 packs from one set, and you can do it that way. Let's do it one more time. We're going to do it with Silver Tempest. I have 3 of these right here. I can weigh these out if you're interested, but I think there's too much variance in the packaging itself. We'll just do it and see if there's any correlation. I know this is a long video, so if you're still watching, I appreciate you sticking around for it. What are we looking at right there? 31, is that 4.3? So we'll open this up. Or it might just be easier to open them all up. Take out the pack. Let's see, right on here. Boom, boom. 21.66. I'll open this one up. So again, I can only compare packs of the same set. That was my small sample size strategy. So that one's 21.66. This one right here is 21.56. So that's significantly lighter. And then we'll do this last third pack on here with the same artwork. 21.75. That's cool. Okay, this is going to be a good one, I think. This one has clear differences, right? 21.54. That one's very light. 21.66. That one's like a good medium. And finally, 21.76. Excellent. So that's a good variation between the 3. So we'll start with the lightest, since that seems to be the conventional wisdom that the lightest has nothing in it. But we've seen that isn't necessarily true. This has the code card. Let's see if it works for Silver Tempest, okay? I weigh this whole thing. 2046, okay. I take out the code card, boom. 1, 2, 3, nice easy way to remember it. So this one's 1, 2, 3. Let's see if we got anything in the lightest pack. Nothing at all, no hollow, just the reverse. Okay, so nice and simple. Lightest pack had nothing in it at all to get excited about. Medium pack here. Bit heavier than the one I just did, obviously. Open up this pack right here. Let's take out the code card. Code card in the lightest was 1, 2, 3. Let's see what this code card is in weight. 1, 2, 5. So this is a little heavier. Do it one more time. It should be a little heavier. The pack's a little heavier. 1, 2, 5 again. Okay. Will I get something in the slightly heavier pack? Let's see what happens. We do have a heavier code card, but it would still need to be significantly heavier than that, I think. And this, nothing. Nothing in it this time. I'm going to weigh them all together again. I keep doing this to try to prove a point. I don't know what the point is, but I'm trying to prove a point. I put them all down here. 2060. I'm going to put these all together from the first pack. They both had nothing in them, right? So should they be the same? They're not. Look at that. Significantly different weights. This has nothing in it, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing here. Yet this one weighs 2046. This one, which is slightly heavier, or should be slightly heavier, has nothing in it again. And boom, boom, put that down. 2060. Big, big difference, right? Very big difference. How can you account for that? How can we account for a major difference in weight if they have nothing in them? That would simply suggest that there is no theory of weight determining value. That's what it's supposed to be. If the weights are all random and not the same, and it doesn't guarantee anything in them anyway, then you cannot weigh them. That's kind of what I think we're seeing. I think that's what the hypothesis is proving. So I'll weigh this one. Will this be 1, 2, 3? That's what the lightest one was. It shouldn't be. Yes, it's a little heavier than the last two. This is 1, 2, 5, about 1, 2, 6. Okay, I'll put that aside. Will I get something? Hopefully I get something just to give us another measuring point. Silver Tempest is such a... Oh, here we go. Okay, good, good, good. We got something interesting. Not something valuable, but something interesting. A hit, I guess. So, this has something. This one is the heaviest. The code card is also the heaviest. Let's weigh this card, the hit, I guess, against what the hit would have been in... We'll do the lightest one just to make it a little easier. I think this is it, right? This is the rare one. I gotta put it up to my eyes to see. Yeah, okay. Let's weigh this against that one. The hit. Oops. Let me pick it up. Put it back down. 169. That's like the weight of the code cards. It's interesting. And the hit in here is... Whoa! That's much heavier. Wow. Look at that. 198. Much heavier, huh? Very, very interesting. That would almost suggest that you could weigh them. Now, even if you weigh them and you say, well, this one on the left is really light, it can't have anything. This one here on the right is heavy, it must have something. Just because that's true doesn't mean there's any value in it. Like this probably has no value. What is it, probably a few dollars, maybe $5? Maybe. Probably not even that much. So, let's see. See if I have any more examples to show. I have just the regular... Oh, here, wait. No, yeah. Just the regular Scarlet and Violet. I wanted to see if I had anything else to contribute. But laying it all out there, and I'll just do one last little example on here. I'm not going to open all these Chilling Rains. But if I just put them all down, right? Let's just kind of end it here. 2219, 2213, and 2226. Okay, so I'll open one of these just to see. If this is the latest one of Chilling Rain right here, 2212, excuse me, and this is the heaviest, 2226. That's a significant difference. Based on what we've seen on 2 of the 3 sets, this heavier one should have something, because this one didn't. Maybe. That's what we're basically seeing. I think that's kind of the conclusion I'm drawing here. Will it have something? Maybe. If it doesn't, then yeah, you really can't measure. If it does, then perhaps you can. Basically, what I think we're seeing here, just to make things more confusing, is that there is no concrete answer as to whether you can weigh them or not. But we'll do this one last pack of Chilling Reign. I'm only going to open this one. Ralts, cast form. This is the heavier of the three, Slurpuff. It just has a normal hollow in it. So, no real hit, just the hollow, I guess, if that's the hit for this set. In the heaviest pack. So, I put that down there. Whatever it is, doesn't really matter. I close this up. Let's kind of go over our results after opening a bunch of packs on here. It seems like it doesn't... whether or not you can weigh a pack seems to be determined by what set it is. And even then, there is too much variance to determine in my very small sample size. 3 packs from each set is nothing, right? But there is definitely inconsistency. We've seen examples, I think we saw, that was the Paldean Fates, where the packs weighed the same, yet had different things in them. We saw 2 set instances where the lightest pack had nothing and the heaviest pack had something. So whether you can weigh them or not, the wisdom is that the code card is supposed to determine, the code card is supposed to affect the weight so that a person cannot know one way or another. But I think the conclusion that we're going to draw here is that whether a pack is light or not, you can't really say if it's going to have a definite hit or not. And more importantly, just because it is heavier doesn't mean it's worth more. Just because there's a hollow or a full art doesn't mean that one has any value anyway. So that's kind of what my conclusion here is that, yeah, you could weigh vintage packs, and that's a definite advantage because the hollow foil pattern did weigh more. But for these modern sets, there's probably no point in doing it. Because even if you had a heavy pack, because there are so much different values in the cards of the hits themselves, it's kind of a fool's errand, just because you get a really heavy pack. I showed you guys. I weighed heavy packs that were definitely heavier than the lighter ones. Did you see me get anything of value? No. So that's what my conclusion is based on a tiny, tiny sample size. So again, long video. If you stuck with me this whole time, thank you. I'm Elite Forio. Like, subscribe. Let me know what you have found in your own experience if you have done anything like this. Take care.